Welcome back, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome back to Utter Hills. So today we're starting our morning out feeding some cattle. Feed them every morning, mixing their each individual rations depending on their group, their age. I'll show you in a little bit what a ration is. Right now we're going to go and dump a little off at our fall beef cow capper. There's about 25 back here. Super simple diet for these girls and calves. It's just a simple grass alfalfa hay and more silage for energy.
36 degrees right now, sunshine and high today of 51. Rain is on the way tomorrow afternoon.
It's a one-time only tour to experience the third day of the
Tickets for this big night are on sale.
Get details through the free KTIS app or at myKTIS.com.
The Minneapolis Home and Garden Show supports KTIS. You can get inspired, ask questions, and see the work of industry professionals. February 25th through March 1st.
The pile right here, and then we'll come back with the loader tractor.
The Kingdom Builders Roofing is a proud sponsor of KTIS. For over 25 years, the Kingdom Builders have been installing windows and removing ice caps for families in and around the Twin Cities.
About 500 pounds left of this. We're going to take up to
You can get the Christian
that 10 of buckets. So each morning then we just check each of the feed bunks, see how much feed is in them, and that determines if we feed them more than the day before or less than the day before. We want to keep feed in front of them at all times, but we also want within every 3 days that the bunk gets completely licked clean, so that they never have old feed sitting at the bottom that randomly weeks down the road, all of a sudden they get down to that bottom and it's icky feed. So we keep them clean at least every 3 days. And then if it does ever get built up for whatever reason, to scoop it out ourselves. So now we'll go down and make a grower diet ration. Grower is our kind of mid-sized calves. They are weaned off of their mothers at about 6 to 8 months, and then they go into the grower pens. So at that point they are about 500 pounds, and they stay on that grower diet until about 700 to 800 pounds. So those pounds I mean is how much the animal weighs. So, you guys have never seen what a mixing wagon looks like inside, how it mixes the feed. So there are a couple different designs. What we run is a PATS mixer. It's called a vertical mixer. So that's the mixing piece right there. So it's vertical, so it's taking the feed off the bottom and lifting it up, and it's mixing it just like your kitchen blender would do. So pretty straightforward. And then it's got those knives coming out the sides there. That helps to cut up some of the long stemmy grass and just gives it a really good mix. So we work with a feed nutritionist, and he helps us to balance out our rations so we know exactly what these animals need at each growing stage that they are at with the feeds that we are able to grow here. So this is our grower diet, as you can see right up here, grower. And today we want to make a 3,600 pound batch because that is what we are going to estimate that these animals will eat today. So 3,600 here. So we want to do baleage, put in 371 pounds. Then we've got a mineral product of 50 pounds, corn silage, not really, there we go. Corn silage we'll put in about 1,138, distiller grains 176, high moisture corn 763, haylage almost 1,000, 993, and then the wheat, we'll put in 200 pounds of wheat. So, so as you can see with the growers, this is mostly a forage diet of almost 1,200, 1,138 pounds of corn silage and almost 1,000 pounds of haylage. There is corn in it, but not much, just to keep that growth. Because at this stage, at the grower stage, we want to put height on more than we do weight. So, but with that being said, let's fill her up. Alright, so I thought I'd show you guys a little bit more about this TMR that I forgot to mention. So the scale, if you could see it or not from the cab, probably not real well. So here's the scale. As you can see, we're about 3,700 right now. So, and since we're mixing, that scale's jumping around because the weight is shifting around inside. So how that scale works then is underneath here, this whole thing sits on these pins. These pins have inside, they've got the function of telling how much weight is on there, just like your bathroom scale would do. And wait until you here's the wire coming out of one. So that's exactly how it works. There's 4 of them, one on each corner. So the entire mixing portion is sitting on those. It does not touch the frame. So that's how the weight is figured out on that scale. So let's jump back up top now that we're filled with feed and you guys can see it mixing it up. So there we've got it mixing now, so we got it full of feed. All those ingredients are getting mixed together well. Now there is a little bit stuck on top of the auger, as you can see, a little bit of grass hay, some corn, the distiller's there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rev the tractor up to high rev. That's gonna spin that auger faster. It'll whip it off the top, and then we'll give it a little bit more mix time to get that mixed in. So, but yeah, so that's filling the mixer, and then I'll show you guys dumping it off too. So this here then is our finisher ration. At the top here, finisher. So we're gonna, just to compare, we're going to look at the 3600 just like we did on the last one. So so we have fewer ingredients on this. For one, we don't have the wheat on this diet. But looking at it then, so 3,600 pounds for the rye haylage on the finisher is 408 on the, and we also don't have baleage in this finisher diet because we don't need that long stem, in there. So, but yeah, the rye haylage on the finisher, 408 you see there. On the grower, it was 990. So, and then what's next? On corn silage, we've got about 700 pounds on the grower. On corn silage on the finisher, it's about 1,116 or 1,100. Yeah. Yep. Then distiller grains. Well, we'll do the high moisture corn there. So high moisture corn, 2,000 pounds on the finisher. On the grower, it's 763 pounds. So as you can see there, we are far less on the grower diet. And then distiller grains, we got 400 pounds there on the finisher, and we've got 170 pounds on the grower. And then the mineral is about the same. You got 56 pounds on the finisher and 50 pounds on the grower. So the finisher then, that's going to be fed to the animals that are 800 pounds up to about ready to be butchered. So they stay on that finisher diet until they are butchered. So with this diet then, the goal is to put on that marbling on the meat. That's why the corn is much higher. Distiller grains is much higher. Keep the good protein going to them. And then the forages there, the haylage, corn silage is different. So, but I'll also show you the finished product and kind of the differences in what it looks like. So here then is the two finished products. Our grower diet is on the left, our finisher diet's on the right. So we'll look at the grower first. As you can see, much more stem in it, much more forage that we would call, which is the haylage and the corn silage. And you can see the corn in it, but it's kind of hard just to see it in general. So, but a lot of forage in there so that we can so that we get the growth out of the animals, get the height and stuff, so they're not just short, little chubby things, but they are the right size that we want them when they get to the butchering age. So then we'll look at our finisher diet. So this one, you can actually see the corn in the diet, but as you can see, there's also lots of forage to keep their rumens healthy, keep them growing. So the corn distillers in there that you can see, that is giving that nice flavor, nice marbling that our customers love so much. So that's the two different feeds that they get. So grower, like we said earlier, they get that from once they get weaned off their mothers until... Can you be quiet, please? Thank you. All right, they get that from weaning off their mothers until they're about that 700-800 pounds, and then once they're about 800 pounds until when we finish them, which is right around 12 to 1,300 pounds, they're on the finisher diet. So, hey everybody, thank you so much for watching our video today. We hope you enjoyed just seeing how we do that feed mix and stuff in the mornings, how our chores go for feeding the animals there, for feeding the cattle at least. Right now you're just seeing us, we're putting in our tap lines
adding to some of our lines this year, and the kids are there helping me. So that's just going to be probably a future video of just how we collect the sap and cook it down to make our own maple syrup that we sell through the store there on our farm. So yeah, right now we're just putting in the new line, putting splits in it so we can hook that line to the trees. Right there we're now putting the taps in and hooking the line to the taps. My kids' favorite part of this is probably once we put those taps in and it starts dripping sap. They love to try to catch the sap on their tongues. So fun, crazy kids. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoy these videos. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Also, feel free to comment. Would love to chat with you guys on just any questions that you have about our farm and what we're doing and stuff. And also just to know also if you guys are liking the content, what you would also like to see us be making. So, but with that, until next time, stay safe and hope to keep putting these videos out. All right, bye bye.